welcome to my February monthly reset. If you're new to my channel, my name is Allison. I'm 29 years old. I work part-time in healthcare as a radiation therapist and part-time as a content creator. I post a lot of videos on personal finance, my debt payoff journey, salary transparency, financial transparency, as well as just lifestyle vlogs, work-life balance, and I have a series all about how I'm recovering from burnout working in healthcare. So if any of that is interesting to you, like and subscribe, follow along. Today's video is my monthly reset, so we're gonna take a look at my finances. We'll go over my budget from last month, January, and set up my budget for February. Obviously, I love to talk about my finances and share everything with you guys. January, I did do a low spend month. I'm trying to do a low spend year, so we're gonna take a look and see how I did. I think I did pretty well. This was also kind of a trial month for me where I didn't totally know what my budget was going to be because of my income, because I just went part-time in the beginning of January. So we were still adjusting a little bit to what my new norm was going to be. I also didn't know what was going to happen with TikTok, and I do get some money from the creator fund on there. So I was like, I don't know what's going to happen this month, but we're just going to roll with it. Again, as always, I use a budgeting template by Coplenty. I'll have my link down below. It will save you 10% if you want to grab yourself a spreadsheet and start tracking your finances. You can use these year after year. I think they're a fantastic tool to help start your budgeting journey. I just switched to the yearly 2.0 tracker, and now a lot of the numbers are in red if there's a difference. So I think that's going to be really fun and interesting to show you guys on here how exactly this helps visually see where we overspent or underspent and all that jazz. So here is January overview. So if we take a look, we can see total income, total bills, subscriptions, expenses, savings, debt. And it kind of shows us what I had budgeted, the actual numbers were, and then the difference. So it actually was pretty close overall with my estimate and budget. I do feel like is a reflection of having been budgeting consistently for probably about a half a year now, is that I can be pretty accurate with these numbers, and now I actually can stick to a budget. So I'm very happy with this month and how it went. Obviously, there were some expenses that came up that I wasn't truly expecting, I guess, but I think overall my spending this month was on track though. I tend to under budget when it comes to income because I'd rather budget with less money and then have a little bit extra when I get paid. Also, with my new schedule, it's hard because I'm an hourly employee, so even this first paycheck was higher because it was from the previous 2 weeks where I was still full-time, but I didn't get my full 80 hours, and then I switched to 48 hours technically, but even during this paycheck I got 49 hours. So it is gonna fluctuate a little bit. We're gonna see what happens, but I feel like this 1600 is gonna be kind of my baseline. So again, at least now I can budget with this number and set up my next few months of expenses and budgeting. And again, I was pretty accurate with social media income as well. The only thing that is missing here is a couple brand deals payments, which I definitely was supposed to get paid one during this month, and I've already reached out to them 2 times. So that's a little frustrating. That is a little behind the scenes of content creation. It can be a little frustrating because you don't get paid. When you post a video, you don't get paid for it right away. It's usually 30 or 60 or 90 days after. So you have to keep track of that a little bit and then reach out to these brands again if the payment doesn't go through, which I've had to do once, and then they were super quick about getting me the money, but I've already reached out to this brand twice and they haven't. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but hopefully it'll come next month. Then bills. Bills were interesting this month because I did change a few things. So originally I had wanted to budget $200 for our phone and internet because we just combined those two things, and I wasn't sure what the cost was going to be because we're supposed to get a discount when we combine them both to AT&T. This is a bill that technically is my husband's name. It's set up already auto pay, which also gives us a discount, so I'm just sending him the money. So I did send him a little bit extra this month. That's why that was a little bit over. And then my car insurance, it works out because so I paid my actual car insurance, and then I just switched my policy so that I could lower my payment a little bit. In order to switch your policy, you have to pay the first first month. It's less than what like I'm actually gonna be paying, but they make you pay like the first month when you sign up, even if it doesn't start until like February. So I did pay extra this month, but I don't have to pay car insurance next month. So then I won't have to pay till March. Then towards my car payment, which I guess I could probably put this in debt, but for some reason for me it's just like a bill because it's a payment. I don't know, whatever, you can put it wherever you want, but for me I put it in bills. I had budgeted that I wanted to put $680, which my car payment is only $330. I ended up putting $925 towards my car because again, that is the main goal this year. I want to pay that off as quickly as I can. Hopefully by December. We'll see what happens with some of my income, but it seems like it'll be very, very close that I can pay it off. This number is technically in the red, but it's like in a good way because I paid an extra $245. So again, down here we can see I was a little bit over with the bills, but that's totally fine. Then expenses. So we can see here now that I have this template, I can see exactly which sections I overspent. So I don't even really need to look too much at the ones that I didn't, because again, I feel like I've gotten my budget pretty good with like a lot of the main things. Like you can see here, groceries and gas, they were like spot on. Go me. I didn't end up spending anything on eating out. The only thing that was annoying was shopping. Obviously that number, a very big difference because I wasn't expecting on buying anything. Unfortunately, I really did need a new pair of shoes for work, which is something I will let myself do. There are certain exceptions to my like no shopping when it comes to things for work. But my mom was like really big on having like a good pair of sneakers, especially if like me, I work on my feet literally all day. I wear these shoes all the time, like 10 hours a day. I did buy a new pair of Hokas because those are the only shoes I've ever found that are so comfortable. They do last a long time, but I do think it's also important to buy new shoes when you need new shoes. I did spend $145 on shoes. They will definitely get their use. Beauty was a tiny bit over because I ended up getting a little design on my nails. Pets was a little bit over, but again, that's like pretty consistent across the board, like what the cost is. Snacks was a tiny bit over. I'm a snacker. Sorry. The one thing that is insane to me is I spent $0 on coffee. Zero. So again, I think this was a very telling month that my Nespresso purchase was worth it, even though again it definitely was a cost up front and I will need to buy pods eventually, but $0 on coffee. And then these last few categories I definitely overspent a little bit. Car other, that was over budget because I did not realize that I kind of forgot I had to pay my car registration fee, which was $50. And then I did get a car wash and I think I had to buy windshield wiper fluid. Amazon, I think I bought these slippers that I'm wearing right now. I actually really like them. Our apartment's so cold and we have like tile downstairs. I like can't not wear them downstairs in the winter. So I bought slippers and then this candle warmer because my old one broke. So I did have a gift card, but I still ended up spending $30 because it wasn't enough. Books was $5.30, which I guess I could technically put this down in subscriptions because I added a new subscription, which is my book of the month subscription. So the first month was only $5. Anyway, if we look down here at the total overall budget, I really only was over by like $150, so not too bad. That was mainly just the shoes. Then subscriptions, this should be like pretty standard because those don't fluctuate very much. Lastly is savings. Again, this is red, but technically in savings red is good because that means you saved more. So I have my emergency fund. I did save a little bit extra there. The house fund, I wanted to put $700. I only did $585. Again, this was with my thought that I was gonna have this brand payment. Again, still $585 is still a good number to have saved. Roth IRA was $150. I'm so excited that I'm able to contribute to that again. Contacts, I made a sinking fund for my contacts. This is where, again, this is a little confusing because during the month I saved $500. I already had $100 saved from December, but I knew I was going to need to purchase my contacts this month, and I had done the research. I knew it was going to be about $600. So I did end up saving $500 for my contacts, but then I purchased them. So the $101 is from, like, I had already saved $100. This is just from like this month. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. Overall, again, not too bad. I hit most of my goals. And then down here is where I add all these transactions in. That was January. Again, I feel pretty good about it. Everything was relatively close. I wasn't shocked by anything. I think the thing I'm most proud of is the contacts and like saving for these big expenses, especially right now. Like, it always happens where everything happens at the same time, because I also have a car appointment on Friday. So I have to get my car looked at. I need an inspection. I need an oil change, and I'm almost positive I'm gonna need new tires. So I'm also saving for that. So it's like, it feels good that I'm actually able to save for these things and not either one, dip into my emergency fund, or two, like have to like panic and put it on my credit card and figure it out later, or like try to pay it off in the coming months. I'm actually like hitting my goals, still being able to save for like big expenses that are coming up. Let's move on to setting up my February budget. So I get paid on the 7th and 21st, and then typically TikTok is like the 15th, which is Saturday. And then YouTube is like about the 21st. Paycheck number 1. I did work extra hours. So I think I did the math, and this one will probably be $1,800, and then the next one will be $1,600 for TikTok. So this is after taxes. So I only put in here what my take home is for these numbers, and I also estimate these aren't the exact numbers that I'm gonna be bringing in from these things. I'm assuming roughly 1,100. YouTube was a little bit low this month, 120. I'll put 560 because I think I'm supposed to get paid for those brand deals. If they don't come in the next 2 days, that will be in February. So that does leave me with a decent amount of income. So that's exciting. We can then move on to the bills. And honestly, I usually just copy these over and then adjust them. So rent will be the same. Phone and internet, I will put that at $225 just to, again, over budget a little bit. And I can actually change car insurance to 0 just for this month. I'm gonna put $700 is what I think I will be able to put towards my car. A lot of these I'm probably gonna leave the same because I felt pretty good about my budget last month. Also, February is a little bit of a shorter month, but groceries and gas for sure I'll leave the same. I will leave dining out. We did eat out last month. My husband paid, so typically what we'll do is like next time I'll pay. Shopping, I'm actually gonna leave that one at 0 this time. I don't suspect I will need anything. Beauty, I might actually just raise this to 85 just to be safe with my nails. Snacks, I'll leave at 20. Coffee, I'll still leave at 50 because again, I probably will buy some pods this month. Car other, oh gosh. So because I'm getting my car looked at, this is gonna hurt my soul, but I'm gonna put $1,000 for car other. I'm probably gonna need tires, which will be about $600. If I did some research, and we have a Sam's Club membership now, so I am almost positive it will be $600 because I can order them and have them installed there. And then an inspection, oil change, probably car wash. So we're gonna put $1,000 and hope that it's lower, because I don't think the other things will add up to $400, but who knows what could be wrong with my car. Amazon, I'm gonna leave at 0. I actually just canceled my Amazon Prime membership. So the only thing that I actually get from Amazon is cat food and cat litter, but I have that in its own like pet category. I don't think I'm gonna order anything. And then books, I'm also gonna leave at 0 because again, I got my book of the month subscription. So my 1 book a month that I'm allowing myself is currently coming from book of the month, which I can skip. Leave books at 0 because I don't need to buy a book if I'm getting one from my book of the month subscription. Before we move on to the savings category, I'll do the subscriptions because again, these are kind of the things that I budget for first, and then I take a look to see what I have left over, and that's when I kind of move into what my savings goals will be. So subscriptions, so most of these will be the same. Amazon Prime actually 0. I canceled that one. I guess I'll leave it in here for now until maybe I'll take it out eventually, but we'll just put 0. I also canceled CapCut, so we're gonna put that to 0. So that makes me feel better actually, because my subscriptions were getting out of control. The fact that I even still spend $110 on subscriptions monthly is insane. The two that I really don't care too much about is book of the month, because at least I get something physically from that subscription. And then I guess Netflix, because I do use Netflix a lot. The rest of them are just annoying. 100 into my emergency fund, 300 into our house fund, and 100 into my Roth IRA. Again, I'm budgeting a little cautiously this month because of the car situation. And then again, I'm not sure if I'm getting this payment anytime soon. Technically I have $675 left over, but this payment is like $560. So that feels good, because then even if I don't get those brand payments, I would still be okay and be able to afford everything that I need to. And then again, if I don't need to spend as much on tires or my car, I can also put that money into any of these savings categories. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Well, I just decided, because I think this video is long. I always do this where I try to combine these two videos into one, these two topics of my goals and my budget into one, that I think I'm gonna split them so that I can focus this video just purely on my monthly financial reset, and then I will focus my next video on my monthly goals. I feel like that is a good plan. So that is my budget, my overview for January, which I feel like was a pretty good month, especially navigating my new budget and figuring out what's gonna work, what doesn't work, and then setting up my budget for February. I'm just very proud of myself too for planning for these big purchases and planning ahead and knowing that these big expenses are coming up. One, it helps me not feel stressed about these things, and two, it's just so nice that I actually have the money to pay for them when it comes up, versus putting something on my credit card and then just watching my credit card like go up and up and up and struggling to pay it off. So feel very good right now. Yeah, I think my two biggest takeaways from this month's check-in was, one, I'm happy about being able to save for these big purchases that are coming up, and two is that I was able to put a lot towards my car loan, because that is one of my big goals for the year, and I'm really happy that I was able to still put so much towards that. And it also is helping me remember, like, stay on track, spend less money on beauty products, clothes, things that I was just spending like dumb money on over the last year even still. It's just a nice reminder that, like, okay, if I don't spend money on those things, I can put that extra money towards my car. Like, if I didn't have to buy those shoes for work, I could have put $150 towards my car. There's exceptions to the rule. I do think there needs to be balance where, like, you could go like full force debt payoff, live super frugally. That's just not how I want to live. I do want to also have things that I want, but still be able to reach some of my goals faster, and that I don't want to cut everything out. I want to still be able to do things that I want to do. That's my little spiel. I hope you enjoyed this video. I do always love sharing my personal finance journey with you guys. Again, if you do want to purchase this spreadsheet, I will have my link down below, and I will see you guys soon in my next video.